Hey everybody. So this will be the first video on the topic of drugs where we will cover its classification, which includes stimulants, depressants and hallucinogens. Right now in this lecture we will only cover amphetamines, which comes under the class of stimulants. Right, so let's get started. अगर हम बिल्कुल बेसिक से स्टार्ट करें, व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय अ ड्रग? तो अगर हम एक ब्रॉडेस्ट सेंस में बात कर रहे हैं, a drug is simply any chemical substance that can produce a biological effect in a living organism, right? So it produces a biological effect on any living organism. Okay, now where do we see the use of drug or drugs in our daily life? We see it in pharmaceuticals. It is used for recreational purposes. Recreational purposes will basically mean it is used for mood altering, right? It is used in dietary supplements. उसमें विटामिन आ जाते हैं, मिनरल्स, हर्ब्स, राइट, जहाँ पे हम अपनी हेल्थ की बात करते हैं. It is also used in food additives, right, for coloring, flavoring, and these are also used in industrial chemicals, right? Now, if we talk about these terminologies, stimulants, depressants, and hallucinogens, अगर हम एक broad aspect में समझ लें कि ये तीनों का मतलब क्या है, then we will move forward. Stimulants are basically a class of drug that increases the activity of central nervous system. So these increase the activity of central nervous system. Now, when we talk about that they increase the activity, what does it actually imply? It implies that it will increase alertness, it will boost the energy levels, it will improve your concentration, it will elevate your mood, and ये आपकी appetite को suppress कर देगा, right? So these are the things which happen when somebody consumes stimulants. Okay, now on the other hand, अगर हम depressants की बात करें, these possess a, we can say, an opposite effect to that of the stimulants. So they slow down the activity of central nervous system. Okay, now these will have a very calm or a sedating effect on the body and the brain, calming effect. Okay, now the third one, hallucinogens. Hallucinogens basically distort your sensory perception. So what do I mean by when I say that they distort your sensory perception? They distort, right? So what actually happens is you will start having hallucinations. You will see things and you will hear things that are not actually there. So this is what happens when someone consumes hallucinogens. तो आपका जो sensory experience होता है वो alter हो जाता है. Now let's move to amphetamines now. Now अगर हम amphetamines की बात करें, the actual name, the full name is alpha methyl phenethylamine. This is the actual name of amphetamines. फिर उसे short कर दिया गया. So this is basically a central nervous stimulant and it is used for the treatment of ADHD disorder. Basically it is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It is also used to treat obesity, right? Now if we talk about the chemical structure of amphetamines, this plays a very crucial role कि इसके effects क्या होंगे और इसकी properties क्या होंगी, right? So first, okay, this is the structure of amphetamine. It is C9H13N. Now we are going to talk about every portion of this structure. So amphetamines share a core structure with phenethylamine, a naturally occurring molecule found in the brain and involved in various neurological functions. Now phenethylamine core, amphetamines के पास phenethylamine core होता है, and this phenethylamine is also present in our body. It is a naturally occurring molecule. Now it forms the central backbone of phenethylamine and it is composed of benzene ring that is attached to ethyl amine chain. So we can say this whole structure is basically the phenethylamine core. Okay, Now, we have phenethylamine cores in amphetamines, and in our body we have phenethylamine present. Okay, there are basically two parts in this phenethylamine core. The first one is this phenyl ring. This provides stability, or should I say structural stability, to the amphetamine structure. And the another part is this amine group. Now, this has two functions basically. The first one is interaction with neurotransmitters. And the second one is contributing to a stimulant effect. Now, what do I mean by interaction with neurotransmitters? There are certain neurotransmitters that are present in our body, okay, like dopamine, okay. Now, the amine group, this allows the amphetamine to mimic the structure of dopamine, and because amphetamine can mimic the structure of dopamine, ये वहाँ पे जाके there is a mechanism called lock and key mechanism, लेकिन हम उतने डिटेल में नहीं जाएंगे. Let's put it in a very simple way. Let's say this is a receptor site, okay. यहाँ पर डोपामीन को आकर जुड़ना है, लेकिन because amphetamine has a presence of this amine group, इसकी वजह से यहाँ पे एम्फेटामिन आके जुड़ जाएगा. ओके, नाउ बिकॉज एम्फेटामिन यहाँ पे आके जुड़ गया एंड डोपामीन यहाँ पे कनेक्ट नहीं हो पाया, तो डोपामीन की जो प्रेजेंस है वो बॉडी में बढ़ने लगेगी. मैं इसे बहुत ही लेमन टर्म में समझा रहा हूँ बिकॉज यू नो वी डू नॉट हैव टू गो इनटू द बायोलॉजी हियर, बट दिस इज एसेंशियली व्हाट हैपेंस. डोपामीन विल स्टार्ट इंक्रीजिंग इन आवर बॉडी बिकॉज एम्फेटामिन ने उसकी जो रिसेप्टर साइट की जगह है वो ले लिया. Because of this, because there is the binding of the receptors, binding to these receptors, amphetamine disrupts the reuptake and metabolism of dopamine, and there is one other also which is known as norepinephrine. Okay, and because इनकी positions एम्फेटामिन ले चुका है, डोपामीन और नॉन एफिनेफ्रिन की जो प्रेजेंस है वो बॉडी में बढ़ने लग जाती है. बिकॉज ऑफ दिस जो कंसंट्रेशन इन न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर्स की वो बढ़ रही है, दिस विल लीड टू द स्टिमुलेंट इफेक्ट्स ऑफ एम्फेटामिन्स. ओके, तो ये जो ब्लॉकेज है इसकी वजह से डोपामीन और नॉन एफिनेफ्रिन की जो मात्रा है वो बढ़ती जाएगी एंड दिस विल लीड टू द स्टिमुलेंट इफेक्ट्स. ओके, नाउ द अल्फा मिथाइल ग्रुप, दिस इज एक्चुअली the essential part of this whole structure. This, the alpha methyl group. Now, the defining feature of amphetamine is the presence of an alpha methyl group attached to the phenethylamine backbone. This seemingly small addition significantly alters the molecular properties because there are different type of amphetamines, और हर एम्फेटामाइन में ये अलग होने के काफ़ी चांसेस होते हैं. नाउ जैसे यहाँ पे ये मिथाइल ग्रुप है, this will lead to the increased potency. Okay, this will lead to the improved lipid solubility, which means कि जो मिथाइल ग्रुप होगा इसकी वजह से एम्फेटामीन्स जो ब्लड ब्रेन बैरियर है उसे जल्दी क्रॉस करेंगे एंड रिसेप्टर साइड पे जल्दी जुड़ेंगे एंड इसकी वजह से ब्लॉकेज जल्दी होगा एंड दिस विल ऑल्सो लीड टू द रेजिस्टेंस टू ब्रेक डाउन. ओके, एम्फेटामीन्स ज़्यादा देर तक उस रिसेप्टर साइड पर जुड़े रहेंगे एंड ज़्यादा देर तक जो स्टिमुलेंट इफेक्ट है वो बरकरार रहेगा. नाउ enantiomers and substituted derivatives. Amphetamine exists as two enantiomers. The first one is dextroamphetamine and the second one is levoamphetamine. Dextroamphetamine is more potent and primarily responsible for the desired stimulant effects जो अभी तक हमने देखे, while levoamphetamine contributes less to these effects but may have some side effects. Okay, so basically the one which is important to us here is dextroamphetamine. Levoamphetamine basically causes side effects. Now, अगर हम अब देखें कि what kind of results do we see in our body when there is an intake of amphetamine. First, amphetamines primarily act as stimulants. Amphetamines primarily act as stimulants. They increase the level of dopamine, norepinephrine and serotonin in the brain, leading to a variety of effects. Now dopamine जो होता है ना, basically dopamine is responsible for the reward and motivation. Reward and motivation. This is because of dopamine. Okay. The second one is norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is basically responsible for arousal and alertness. Now जो हमने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले एड्रेस किया था कि because you are taking amphetamines, it will lead to alertness, because norepinephrine जो ब्लॉक हुआ है उसकी वजह से there will be alertness, increase in wakefulness, you will be more vigilant, और आपका जो environment की तरफ जो attention है वो बढ़ जाएगा. And serotonin is basically known as the happiness hormone. ये जो वेल बीइंग एंड रिलैक्सेशन की जो फीलिंग्स होती हैं उन्हें प्रमोट करता है. तो सेरोटोनिन इज ऑल्सो ब्लॉक्ड and this leads to variety of effects. Now you will feel increased alertness and energy. You will feel improved mood and euphoria. Euphoria means the feeling of happiness, and you will feel decreased appetite. This amphetamines can suppress appetites, leading to weight loss. This effect is sometimes misused for diet control, and it will lead to the increased physical activity. Right now, there are also some potential risks and dangers. What are those? First, cardiovascular issues. Okay, high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, and increased risk of heart attack or stroke. Second, neurological problems, anxiety, paranoia, psychosis, cognitive impairment. Right now, अगर हम कहें कि what is paranoia? Paranoia basically means जब आपको बहुत ही इंटेंस एंजाइटी होती है, राइट, जैसे आपके अगेंस्ट कोई कॉन्स्पिरेसी रच रहा हो, सो दैट इज कॉल्ड पैरानोया. साइकोसिस बेसिकली अ स्टेट ऑफ माइंड वेयर समवन लूजेज टच विद रियलिटी. हेलुसिनेशन शुरू हो जाते हैं, डिल्यूजन शुरू हो जाते हैं, एंड येस आई नो दैट was the part of hallucinogens, but it also happens here. Psychosis, sleep disturbance, okay, insomnia and difficulty falling asleep, liver and kidney damage. So long term use of amphetamines can harm these organs. So basically this was all about amphetamines. We saw the chemical structure, and we saw the impact of amphetamines in our body and brain, the positive aspect of it and the negative aspect of it. Okay, so that's it for this video. I will see you in the next one.